Well, it was a race. I welcome in everybody. I see a lot of you have opinions about this race. But I will know right now. Let's do it. Out of 10. 10 being the best race you've ever seen. 0 being the 2008 Brickyard 400. What did you think of this race? I know a lot of people, I saw the word of the day was boring. I saw a lot of the people saying leech. I see a lot of people not too happy with it. But there was passing through the pack. There was some racing up towards the front. You know what? There was at least more than one lead change today in the 2024 Tennessee Lottery 250. I'm not going to lie, though. Even though there was passing, even though there was some stuff that was going on, there were not many notes to be taken in this race. Usually I have like half a page after the results are done and then maybe another half page, so maybe a full page worth. There was no such thing today. It was a very straightforward race, I think is the best way to put it. So I'm seeing a lot of, let's see, I'll scroll back up. Seeing a lot of 5s, 4s, some 3s, a couple 6s and 7s. But for the majority, it looks like between 3 to 5, maybe 3 to 6, I'd say. There's a couple of you guys that are outliers. Very hot day. I don't know if it was the hottest on record. Give me a Y for yes, N for no. Did they say it was the hottest race on record? I need to know for the podcast because I know tomorrow will not be the hottest race on record. So I need to know if Eric got a wrong prediction or not. So let me know. Y for yes, N for no. Did they say it was the hottest Xfinity race on record here? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I think last year was hotter. Okay, so they didn't. Awesome. Awesome for me, at least. Yeah, I didn't hear it either. So, it is what it is. All right, let's get on into it. I see people in here coming on in. I know it's going to be probably a quicker stream, but let's talk about the 2024 Tennessee Lottery 250 at the Nashville Superspeedway. Race was 188 laps, 1 hour, 57 minutes, 37 seconds, 3 leaders with 4 lead changes, and 3 caution flags. Looking compared to last night, this race was, get this, y'all. This race was 4 seconds longer than last night's race. And to be clear, last night's race was 50 miles shorter. But time-wise, this race was only 4 seconds longer. Definitely the difference of, 4 seconds. That's it. That's basically, that's the margin, that's half the margin from first to third in this race. So, very interesting statistic that's completely useless, but at least you know. Now, the more you know. Going into the results, John Hunter Nemechek wins this baby. Surprisingly, none of us on the NWP side picked John Hunter. Chandler Smith finishes about 4/10 behind him in second. Then Jesse Love in third. Austin Hill fourth. Fifth is Noah Gragson. Another solid run for that team. And Noah, in his brief time this year in the Xfinity Series, Riley Herbst, after overheating early, comes home sixth. AJ Allmendinger, very disappointing day for him, trying to go back-to-back at Nashville. 7th on the day. Justin Allgaier recovers to an 8th place run. Cole Custer comes home in the 9th position, and Sam Mayer in 10th. I'm going to take a picture of the screen right now as we're live to read off the playoff standings with, I don't know how many races remaining. They don't say. Basically until after Bristol. So, but you, of course, got your 6 winners. Cole Custer's plus 221. He's good to go. Riley Herbst plus 103. He's good to go. AJ Allmendinger plus 80. Pretty good to go as well. Same with plus 77 Sheldon Creed, even after a bad run today. Kligerman near full race up, plus 46. And Sammy Smith, plus 11. So good news for all of you Ryan Sieg fans. Thanks to Ryan Sieg running 11th today. Thanks to the issues of Sammy Smith. Ryan Sieg is only 11 points out of the playoffs as they run now. So only 11 points left to gain on his end. Ryan Sieg has been, I would say, visually a lot faster this year, so good on him. I see a lot of people probably pretty happy with that. I'll read that super chat in a moment, but I appreciate it. Brandon Jones, minus 54. He is only 5 points above Anthony Alfredo, minus 59. That's just unacceptable in the JRM car, but we've talked about this week in and week out. And then Brennan Poole, minus 113. He's going to need a win or a miracle. From there, we got the rest of the order to look into here. We got the top 10 all done. And if you weren't in here for us reading the top 10, we'll put it on the top of the screen after this. I will not forget again. Ryan Sieg, like I talked about, with an 11th place finish today. Carson Kvapil, I would say a solid and impressive with how hot it was. 12th place run today. Not even the worst JRM car. When you look at his teammates, I mean, Justin Allgaier 8th and Sam Mayer 10th. Not even in the second half of the JRM cars, just right in the middle. So solid run for him. Brandon Jones in 13th. 14th, Tyler Reddick. SVG, a very, very solid 15th place run today on what was going to probably be one of his biggest challenges yet on ovals. Parker Klugerman, 16th on the day. Parker Retzlaff, 17th. The Parkers manage just to be around each other in the finishing order. Doesn't matter where they go. They just always manage to be near each other. Anthony Alfredo, 18th. Jeb in 19th. Ty Gibbs, after being spun in the 20th position on the day, had probably the best or second, maybe third best car by the end, but a 20th place run, not indicative of where he ran. Then 3 left on the lead lap are Brennan Poole in 21st. 22nd is now Jeremy Clements. They have switched Clements and Ellis around. So Ryan Ellis will come home in the 23rd spot. So for a moment, live on air production meeting, I just got to flip that around so we don't have the wrong results, if I can spell Clements' name right. So Clements in 22nd, Ellis in 23rd, according to NASCAR.com. Then Josh Williams, 1 lap down in the 24th position. Honeyman, 25th at a lap down. Kyle Sieg, 1 lap down in 26th. So 25th Honeyman, 26th Sieg. Ross Chastain, absolutely out to lunch today, 27th. Haley Deegan, 28th. Are we shocked at this point? Matt DiBenedetto, 29th. And Sammy Smith, last car, 1 lap down in 30th. Kyle Weatherman, -2, is 31st on the day. 3 laps down for Sheldon Creed in 33rd. And Chad Fincham in 34th will come home 4 laps down. I also managed to skip Logan Bearden, who comes home 32nd, 3 down as well. Blaine Perkins, 35th, 4 down. And then 5 laps down apiece for Garrett Smithley in 36th. Dawson Crammon, 37th, and Patrick Emmerling, 38th. So, if you're following on that one, no driver was out of this race. Every driver finished today's race, which is a very rare thing, especially in the Xfinity Series. I don't really know we don't have too much to talk about, but I actually want to put a poll up, especially after today's run. And yeah, we'll get to the fairground stuff in a minute. I like this. You're not going to like the next thing I say here because I see Lipballer saying the hate on Haley is crazy. Bro, talk about something else. Hey, listen. Yeah, and there's some leave Haley alone. Just saying it's not shocking at this point. The expectations need to be tapered down. But, hey, you know what? If this was any other driver, you'd be fine with me talking about it and pointing it out. Just saying. But that's all I gotta say on it. But overall, just a kind of straightforward meh day. You could tell the drivers didn't want to get basically into a bunch of crap. Didn't want to have 2.5 hour to 2 hour 40-minute race like last year. That's definitely for sure. And you saw it in the first 2 stages, I think. Not very much happened. You had Gibbs on the pole. The best battle for the lead in that stage was in the first 3 laps. Gibbs got it. There were comers and goers, obviously, with like Hill and Love starting way in the back, Mayer starting in the back. They were coming forward. But Gibbs won the first stage over Allmendinger, Jones, Custer, and Allgaier. And then Gregson, Herbst, Nemechek, Chandler Smith, and Ryan Sieg, the top 10 in stage 1. And if you're thinking that I'm purposely skipping through it, there's just not much highlight worthy happened today. You're going to have races like that. Doesn't mean it's the worst race ever. It was a dull race, I would say, at least from a viewing perspective. But I got to give it to the drivers, man. Tip your cap to them. They absolutely had to battle through it for the majority of the day, man. I like this. It's the equipment's fault. Trust me, with Haley, it's always the equipment's fault. I do think that, but I'll say this, and a positive about Haley Deegan, I like what Door Bumper Clear said. They need to consolidate that money either into a part-time good Xfinity ride and just pay to play and get a good ride, or you know what, maybe go back to trucks and get a good ride there. I don't think it's all the car. It goes back and forth. And I will keep just poking the bear on this one, because it's like, if it's any other driver, y'all are ripping on this person, especially with the hype. Anyway, going back to today's race, stage 2, Gibbs would end up losing a couple spots in the pits, never was able to regain the lead. In this, it was Nemechek, actually, who would take the lead later on from Cole Custer. And of course, it would play out. You had Gibbs falling back to the back half of the top 5, really, again, never able to recover. You had others that, like Riley Herbst battling his way into a top 10 in the stage. John Hunter Nemechek wins the stage over Allmendinger, Custer, Gibbs, Chandler Smith, Gregson, Love, Jones, Allgaier, and Herbst the top 10. Again, Riley Herbst, say what you want about the guy. He had to pit early at the before the pits opened in the final stage. The guy battled through it. He battled through it, and he deserves all the props in the world for doing that. There's 130 degrees in the car based on what we were seeing in AJ Allmendinger's car. I challenge any of you at home, as I hit the damn mic and probably blow somebody's eardrums out, I challenge all of you at home to get into a car that's 130 degrees and just take a road trip. Not even race, just take a road trip. Go and take a 8-hour drive up north or down south, wherever you live, and then tell me how easy it is. So I give him credit with being at a disadvantage to still race in the top 10, and then even with the cool suit, he's still worn out from those first 2 stages to come back to a 6th place finish. You know what? We can give Riley Herbst some crap every now and then, but my God, he did something I wouldn't want to do. I mean, I'd be begging to get out of that car, so good on him on that one. No air conditioning, no cool suit, no nothing. Good on him. So we get restarted about 90 to go or so. It's the 20 and the 00 up front. The 20 clears easy. And just flies away for the most part of the early bit of this run. Sammy Smith would have to come to the pits with a loose right rear. That would lose him. I mean, he was probably running, I'd say, I can't remember off the top of my head, but he was probably running top 15. So it cost him about 20 points on that cut line, which is the difference. Where's it at? Where's it at? Which is the difference of being up plus 11 and being up plus 31, give or take. So pretty big moment. I see Wayne in the chat here. You're going to be at the track tomorrow. I will be, though I will be on the road 3 a.m. on Monday, so I cannot stay for a ton of rain delays. Unfortunately, it just lined up like that. I'd much rather go up and be there when I told my family I'd be there come Monday morning, afternoon, rather than sweat my ass off at a race waiting for it to get done with a rain delay. But I will be hopefully out in the fan zone a little bit, hopefully at the tweet up. It's just a matter of what the scheduling all looks like on my end for tomorrow. But I will be there for those who are going to be out there. If there is no rain delay, I will be doing the live stream from the racetrack. If there is a rain delay, I am probably coming back here to do the live stream, unfortunately. It sucks. I don't like doing it, but I have good reason. So it is what it is, man. Now, I talked about how the very early part of that run, John Hunter Nemechek got the lead. Cole Custer, like 4 laps later, comes screaming on back, takes it, and yeah, it was a bit of a battle between the two at the end of this race. With 54 to go, we get pretty much the only big thing that happened today. Justin Allgaier gets into the back of Ty Gibbs, sends him, collects the 81, though it was, of course, not terminal by any means for any of them. Caution comes out. This is also where AJ Allmendinger's crew just completely screws the pooch. They lose the race, lose 7 spots in the pits. But at that point, I mean, the 7 and 19 were both running top 5, top 10 all day long. Allgaier able to recover to that 8th place finish. Ty Gibbs, though, 20th. I think he just checked out until tomorrow at that point. Don't blame him. But that changed the course of the race. The 00 and the 20 restart. You have Custer clear. He clears out of 2 and then completely washes up the track. Super tight. Opens the door for John Hunter Nemechek to fly by. Custer in a lap goes from 1st to 5th. Ends up by the end of the race falling back to 9th with a really tight condition. Car's handling just completely goes away. The battle ends up being between the 20 and the 81. The only real drama from that being there was a water bottle on the front of John Hunter Nemechek's grill. But he got it off there within like 7-8 laps. The only other stuff that happened that was really kind of big to look at is the fact that Creed would go to the pits with no voltage. He'd fall 3 laps down in the day. That'd be another hit on his end. But, you know, looking at the points right now, plus 77, he should be good to go. Even with the amount of time we have left until the Bristol cutoff, I believe the cutoff is still at Bristol because that's first race in the CW. But overall, just I'd say a generic race, man. Just a generic kind of race is what it is, though. So, with that, want to read the last super chat here. Only super chat, I should say, from Reverend Rasheem Hall Stewart for the 2. Should NASCAR move the race to the Nashville short track? You know what? We'll end off on that poll. We're going to end off on that poll. There's not much to talk about, man. I'll just put which Nashville track. And you know what? We're only going to choose 2 of the 5 F1 tracks in this local area. And I put Super Speedway and Fairgrounds, and we'll end off on that. Which Nashville track? Answer me, Bull. Yeah, he gets us? No, he got into us. He spun us. Fred Dog 81 for the 5. Did he make contact on the Allgaier Gibbs? Really, Rick? Are you blind or just really stupid? Just terrible commentary from him today. It was definitely not the greatest showing. I do think a large part has to do with the racing itself. I think that's the biggest issue. But yeah, I mean, it was just all around just a very blah day in all sense of the word. I see that we're like 50-50 right now, man. I'm saying, having spent like 15 hours there on Thursday, I'm going Fairgrounds. Especially you get this short track package fixed on up. I think you're going to have a lot of fun racing coming up. And you know what? It's at least when it comes to banking and speed, it would probably be more close to that, and length actually would be more close to that of Iowa than say like a Martinsville. So I think you could actually put on semi-decent racing if the right setup is brought to the track. Michael Kelly Gilliam, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. And because I caught it and was able to stop the chat as it was going, I can actually read off. So John Forrester, Wayne Montgomery, Flash of the Blades, nice reference, if it's the reference I believe it is. Demetrius Wilson, Sonic, and Tragic Kel are now members of the Iceberg. By the way, letting everybody know now, as it was talked about a little bit on Twitter, but not much more other than that. The reason tomorrow isn't a night race is because of the Olympics. Blame the Olympics again. I'll say this, that next year, I would say even on Olympic years, just because it's different providers, when this race is on either more than likely Prime next year or in the future maybe TNT, I don't see this issue. I think Nashville Superspeedway we'll see tomorrow, if it's not rain delayed. I think it'll see its last full-on day race on schedule. I think we're going to see more day and night races at this track on Sunday nights. That is a benefit of being on Prime, is that they don't have competition to push off the live stream. I'm going to be very interested when they have like an 8-hour rain delay next year and Prime has to stay like covering it for 8 straight hours, what they do. If they just play a documentary over it like the Earnhardt one they're making or what. But it's going to be interesting, man. We're in the poll here. Which Nashville track do you want? Sorry. This race was short, sweet, and to the point, so was the question. And the poll now, 55% say the Fairgrounds to 45% saying Super Speedway. I'm going to have to go with the small minority of voters here. I'm going to go Fairgrounds on this one. But yeah, y'all, this is just something that happens sometimes. Sometimes you just don't get the greatest of races. So a reminder, again, as we sign off, last time I'll remind you, because we're signing off. Tomorrow, we'll do the Cup Post race either at the track if there is no kind of delay, or at home, depending on, well, I should say at home. In the studio, if it has been delayed by rain or thunderstorms in some way. just timing for me, unfortunately. It sucks, but it's important. NWP this Tuesday night on Eric Estep's channel should be a good time. But thank you guys so much for coming out and watching this kind of bore fest. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you later. Bye, y'all.